Once let the black man get upon his person the brass letter U.S. Let him get an eagle on his button, and a musket on his shoulder, and bullets in his pocket. There is no power on earth that can deny that he has earned the right to citizenship. Frederick Douglass, 1863. More than 180,000 African American soldiers served in the Union Army during the Civil War, and their role in direct combat was increased following the Emancipation Proclamation. Of the African American soldiers, 16 would go on to earn the Medal of Honor, which was established by President Lincoln in 1861 as a way of awarding personal acts of valor that go above and beyond the call of duty. This recognition came to only a few black soldiers, despite the fact that by the end of the war, they made up 12% of the million men still fighting. They also faced prejudices and dangers that white soldiers did not experience. Black soldiers received low pay, inferior weapons, and inadequate medical care, and because the Confederate Army did not always take black prisoners, capture frequently meant death rather than confinement. The first African American soldier to earn a Medal of Honor was Sergeant William H. Carney of the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. Carney was born into slavery in Norfolk, Virginia in 1840, but escaped through the Underground Railroad to Massachusetts, where he enlisted in the Army at the age of 23. In his detailed account of the battle at Fort Wagner in Charleston, South Carolina, one of the bloodiest battles of the war, he remembered seizing and shielding the regimental flag after the color-bearer was shot down. He then held the stars and stripes aloft while running through a volley of Confederate bullets. In the process, Carney was twice severely wounded, but eventually reached friendly lines. He came at length within hailing distance of the rear guard, who caused us to halt, and upon asking who we were and finding I was wounded, took us to the rear and through the guard. An officer came and, taking my name and regiment, put us in charge of the hospital corps, telling them to find my regiment. When we finally reached the latter, the men cheered me and the flag. My reply was, "Boys, the old flag never touched the ground." Another soldier who received the Medal of Honor was Private James Daniel Gardner. In 1844, Gardner was born in Gloucester County, Virginia, and worked as an oysterman before enlisting into the 2nd North Carolina Colored Volunteers, part of the 36th U.S. Colored Infantry, on September 15, 1863. In 1864, the African American War correspondent Thomas Morris Chester was inspired to write, "The 36th is a model regiment, and wherever it is operated, it has been distinguished by the undaunted bravery of men and gallantry of its officers." Gardner received his medal not for nobility or gallantry, but for the aggressiveness of his actions during the Battle of New Market Heights at Chaffin's Farm, Virginia, on September 29, 1864. At one point during the offensive, a defiant Gardner rushed in advance of his brigade, shot a rebel lieutenant who stood on a parapet rallying his troops, then ran the man through with his bayonet. 14 of the 16 Medals of Honor awarded to African American soldiers were given away for actions at the Battle of New Market Heights, where over 50% of the black troops were killed, wounded, or captured. One soldier, Corporal Miles James, had his arm mutilated and quickly amputated, but nevertheless he loaded and fired his weapon with one hand, urging his troops forward. Others, like Thomas R. Hawkins and Christian Fleetwood, were decorated for seizing and bearing the regimental colors after the color bearers had been shot down, an act fraught with danger. During the Civil War, the battlefield provided a platform for African Americans to actively earn the respect of whites. As historian Joseph Glatter puts it, "For them, combat was a great opportunity to demonstrate to all others their willingness to lay down their lives on behalf of their country for the restoration of the Union and the termination of slavery." At the same time that African American men fought for citizenship on the battlefield, American women, black and white, were seeking a path to equal opportunity on the home front.